Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to another episode of The Chocolate Chick. All right. One of my friends called and asked, could you give a little more detail, or could you speak a little more about the idea of the defeated king, or what I referred to in another video as the defeated king syndrome? All right, so first of all, I took that term from a speech that I heard from Dr. Na'im Akbar, who is probably still the president. I'm not sure, but he was at one time the president of the Black Psychological Association here in America. And I believe he still may be, but if he isn't, back in the mid 1980s, maybe it was the late 1980s, I heard a speech of Dr. Akbar. I believe I was in New York City, and he started to talk about Black Americans and our relationship with white Americans, and why it is that you see the superiority complex of the whites on the one hand and the superiority or complex of blacks on the other. Why is it that we continue to see this dynamic, although we've been out of now Jim Crow since I was born? Jim Crow was actually ended the year I was born, right? And slavery was ended in 1865. Why is it we're still dealing with this superiority complex of the white man and the inferiority complex of the black man? What's going on? So Dr. Na'im Akbar, in this speech, he coined the phrase, at least in my mind, of the defeated king, or the defeated king syndrome. And what he meant by that is that anytime you have two cultures having a clash, or you having two people having a clash, then what ends up happening, and of course, you're going to have one person that's going to be the conqueror, and the other person's going to be the people who are defeated. In the idea of the defeated king syndrome, what we're saying is that those who lost, or those people whose culture got kicked in the dust, then the men of that culture, who were the kings over their culture, who are the leaders in their culture, are now subjugated under another man's rule, another man's way of life. They're under another man's morality. They're under another man's philosophies. And as we know, when we look at European peoples and what it is that the European peoples have done to the rest of the world, right? In my opinion, they're the Juj and Majuj of the Quran, or they're the Gog and Magog of the Bible, right? This tribe of people that are going to come and run rampant on the planet Earth and give the earth hell until there becomes a time where another savior will arrive, right? The Mahdi will come and put a check or put a stop to these people, or put a stop to these creatures that are referred to in the Quran as Juj and Majuj, and again in the Bible as Gog and Magog. My opinion, at least for our lifetime and inside of our period of time on the planet Earth, that's the white man, right? Or those people from Europe who came out and they basically conquered the world. So the idea here is that we, as Black Americans, fell under the leadership of European peoples. The people who left Europe came to America and started to call themselves Americans, right? Damn the Native American, damn the people who lived here. They just kicked them to the dust. So the whites who came here, they dubbed themselves, we are the Americans, right? And then we'll call the people who are natives here, they're Native Americans, right? They get the attachment to the American. They're not Americans, they're Native Americans. Like, we are Black Americans, okay? So because they actually did the conquering, then of course they write the narrative, right? The person who conquers is the person who ends up writing the narrative. So when we speak about the defeated king syndrome, what we're saying is that we blacks, we ourselves had whatever style of leadership that we had, or whatever way that we lived our lives coming from the motherland. This is what we were until we met these people. And when we met these people, they conquered us, right? They pulled us into slavery on the one hand, they colonized us in Africa on the other. So now you have these colonized people in the origin land, and you have over here people who were brought in chains and made slaves. And of course, we now take on the ways of the masters. Again, speaking about that in another video. We ourselves are taking on the ways of the masters. We name ourselves the master's names. We take on his religion. We, of course, believe in his gods. We believe in his lifestyles, everything that he's into, we're into. From the way that he uses the toilet to the way he makes love to his woman or his man or whatever it is he's dealing with. All these things, the conquered people start to pick up. We pick up the habits of the master. The fact is, when you become a defeated king, even your own wife and children don't look up to you. They look up to master. So this is what Dr. Na'im Akbar was talking about in the middle 80s and late 80s when he talked about black men being defeated kings. And of course, the other ideal that extends from the defeated king syndrome is that you're not respected. Any king who's defeated, you lost your respect. The people who looked up to you and the people that you basically ruled over, or the people that you were imam over, you were the leaders over. Now these people no longer look to you for leadership. They now look to the new king as their leader. So the defeated king, he loses all respect. He loses respect in the eyesight of his parents. He loses respect in the eyesight of his wife and his children. And that's where the death blow comes. The death blow comes when a defeated king, he loses the respect of his woman and his children. Because once you become a defeated king, a lot of times, then you could be sold into slavery, you could be killed. And of course, in modern times, in most of the quote unquote modern world, we don't take slaves anymore. At least we don't put chains and shackles on them anymore. But what you do get is you get the chains that are put on the mind, and you get the chains that are put on your soul, right? Your body may be free, and it's only free to a degree, right? But your mind and your heart is locked in to what it is that the master wants. So here again, you become like a slave to the new master. And who looks up to the slave? If you have two men in a room, and one is the master and one is the slave, or should I say, one is the man, as we used to call white people here in America, and the other is another man in the room, then we can say, well, actually, there's only one man in the room. And the other person in the room, or the other persons in the room, are either going to be boys, or they're going to be women, or they're going to be children. Because there's only one man that's going to be in that room. Okay? So when we speak about the defeated king syndrome, what we're saying is that we, as black peoples on the planet, or peoples from African descent, we can see very clearly that we've been put in a situation where we are the defeated kings. So with that, we get a lack of respect from the society at large. Not only will you get that lack of respect, but you'll also get a lack of respect from your women and your children. This is a natural consequence of being defeated. If you can't protect your own woman, because master's not going to allow you to protect your own woman, then what that means then is that you become the boy, or you become the girl, or you become something other, right? But what you are is the man not. You're not a man. So you either fall into the female category or you fall in the children category. But what you are not is the man, okay? Because there's one man that's going to run this family. There's going to be one man that's going to run this show. And so when we talk about defeated kings, what we're saying is we as black men have become defeated kings. And that's why we find ourselves at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to respect in this country, or respect maybe on the planet at large, right? So we are the weak man on the planet. And until we ourselves develop a culture, a lifestyle, or we develop a way that we can contend with the master, and we can ultimately neutralize his control over us, then what you'll find is that we'll continue to be in a position of those who are disrespected. So you don't look for your woman to respect you, and you don't look for your children to respect you. because you're defeated. And if you get respect from your woman, or you get respect from your children, then you have to understand that that's a gift that they're giving you, right? They're giving you a gift because in their own minds and in their own hearts, they have the empathy, they have the compassion, and they have the love to understand what it is that you went through or what it is that we went through. And because they have that compassion, that empathy, and that love, then they can say, okay, I can give my black man some love, right? I can show him that I'm with him, that he's defeated, or he being defeated means that I also am defeated, and that my children also are defeated. And one of the ways that we can throw off this defeat and get back on our feet and be able to challenge this rule that we're under, this European rule or this Western rule, is for us to come together as a family, as a unit. And as a family unit, then we can start to put together the necessary accoutrement to mount a defense and ultimately check this mastery that the white man has over us. So this is what we have, and this is what we mean when we talk about the defeated king syndrome. So alhamdulillah to the brother that asked the question. I appreciate it. But again, I would ask that you brothers and sisters, please leave your questions or your comments in the comment section, because that helps to drive the YouTube algorithm, right? And that's how you get the videos out and you get people to listen to what it is you have to say. And inshallah, I can grow this channel out. But back to the lesson for today, being a defeated king means that you don't get respected. So when we look at the Black American and we see the Black American man, you know, in the back and forth that we have with the police departments, right? The brutality that we get from state-sponsored terrorism, because that's all it is. The disrespect that we get from quote-unquote Americans in general. It don't have to just be the white Americans, because people who come here from other countries, they disrespect us as well. Even the black ones, even the Africans when they come, and some of the folks from the Caribbean when they come, the folks from Central America and South America when they come, they can look just like us, and then they'll deal out disrespect to us, right? Because they see us too as the defeated king. They see us as the white man's boy, okay? So when I talk about being a defeated king or the defeated king syndrome, what I'm doing is I'm borrowing a piece from one of our masters, Dr. Na'im Akbar. And may Allah continue to bless Dr. Akbar in his life and in his endeavors, because surely he was one of my teachers in the past that I drank from his well. And I appreciate all of the work that he laid down for us to understand what our position or our positionality, what that is psychologically, right? Being a doctor of the mind, letting us know, you know, what's going on with our minds and also what's going on in the mind of the white man. So that's what I have for you today. I pray that you could take something from what it is I said and benefit yourself and others in your life. And inshallah, do me a favor, if you appreciate this message, like this video, and please subscribe to my channel if you have not. Much appreciated. We love you. Y'all take care out there. Peace.